Assalamualaikum from Econth group. Our group consists of me, Amalia, Dania, Zulfakri, Zulfati, and Farhan. Our research title is Malaysia's Actions in Addressing the Effects of COVID-19 on the country's economy and the mental health of fellow citizens. Firstly, we will present to you abstract. COVID-19 in Malaysia began with 22 imported cases in January 2020. After a mass gathering, Malaysia has reached three-digit number of daily cases. The government has initiated Movement Control Order, which known as MCO, that caused serious major socio-economic disruption. The public majority are getting anxious, which stress their mental health. This study aimed to analyze the Malaysian socio-economic performance in line with SDG 3, which is ensuring health and well-being for all, by identifying the effects of COVID-19 to the economy and mental health of fellow citizens.
Hi, my name is Farhan and I'll be presenting introduction of our study case. The first is Sustainable Development Goals 3, which is to ensure healthy life and promote well-being for all at all ages. This SDG concentrated on healthy lifestyle and health of every citizen under the United Nations. Next is the COVID-19. Coronavirus COVID-19 is an infectious disease and caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory, and cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. Hence, we came up with a title that focuses on both main points, which include Malaysia's economy and citizen health, which is Malaysia's action in addressing the effect of COVID-19 on the country's economic and the health of fellow citizens. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Dania, and I'll be presenting about our problem statement. With the nation's current financial status, Malaysia is having its worst economic recession in history. Not only the country's economy is affected, but also the citizens' state of health. On the 24th October of 2020, Malaysia reached a total of 23,804 cases. The three phases of MCO, Movement Control Orders, are introduced to control the spread of COVID-19. The restrictions imposed have affected in the services, manufacturing, and construction sectors. Furthermore, in August, the decision to allow the government to borrow up to 60% of its GDP, gross domestic product, was voted by the parliament. This is to reduce the effect of the pandemic on businesses. These long-term damages and drastic changes impose public mental health crisis as well. Now I will pass the floor to my next presenter.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Zulfati and I'll be presenting our research questions. For the research question, we have three research questions that we be doing on our project. The first one is discuss the effect of the pandemic on the government's income and expenditure. The second one is discussing Malaysia's initiative in recovering the nation's economic status during pandemic. And the last one is how the effect of COVID-19 in the economical aspect causes mental health. The next slide. For the objective of study, the first one is to study the effect of the pandemic on the government's income and expenditure. Next is to acknowledge Malaysia's initiative in recovering the nation's economic status during pandemic. And the last one is to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on mental health due to the economic effect. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Next, I'll present to you significance of study. Our study is important to help Malaysia in determining the effects of COVID-19 on the government's income and expenditure. Next, it is to ensure the country's fiscal and debt situation is sustainable to keep the nation's economy on track. This study is important to create awareness to the public about mental health, and it is to analyze the correlation between SDG 3 and the impacts on the Malaysian economy and mental health of citizens during the pandemic. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Next is the literature review part. The first one is effect of COVID-19 on the government's income or expenditure. we divide it into three categories, which the movement control order MCO, which preventing the economic growth. The economic crisis resulting from COVID-19 affect almost all the world's country and is expected to take a long time to recover. The next one is stimulus package to help citizens. To overcome the outgoing economic problem, RM20 billion ringgit Malaysia economic stimulus package was introduced on February 27 by the Prime Minister to aid industries. And the last one is loss of national income. The pandemic has caused a huge damage in tourism sector as the government has to take an action to close the nation border in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Together with tourism, the retail market and accommodation substantially contribute to income, which together make them contribute about 15% of the service sector. These expenses significantly contribute to the economy, but Malaysia's private consumption growth will be impacted due to the decline in tourism volume. Next, I'll pass to Fakri.
Hi, I'm Zulfakri and I'll be presenting the government's actions in overcoming the financial crisis due to COVID-19. The 20 billion ringgit economic stimulus package, PRE 2020, was introduced on February 27 by the Prime Minister to aid industries, such as hotels and transport operators. The government once again announced the second 250 billion ringgit Prihatin economic stimulus plan on March 27 to aid manufacturing companies. An additional stimulus package aimed at helping SMEs and micro enterprises was announced by the Prime Minister on 6 April 2020. Direct cash transfers to the citizen, the Bantuan Prihatin Nasional (BPN), which is estimated to cost 10 billion ringgit, is the main component of the package. There is the Employment Retention Program (ERP) by SOTSO for former sector Malaysian employees who qualify. A wage subsidy program (WSP) aimed for employers with decreasing revenues during the MCO was also introduced. The government has also demanded that financial institutions provide borrowers with financial relief by rescheduling or reforming loans and providing payment moratoriums. The tourism industry will receive a deferment of their monthly tax payments for 6 months. The government also aimed to boost household income in order to spur our country's economy growth by reducing the contribution of workers in the Employee Provident Fund (EPF). Next, I will explain how the effect of COVID-19 on economy caused mental health crisis. The measure taken by the government in reducing the number of COVID-19 cases, such as Movement Control Order (MCO), has jeopardized one's job status while limit one's movement outside and social events. A lot of non-essential businesses are required to come to a stop during the MCO, which has caused a big financial problem to many population groups. The mental well-being can be interfered with as long as losing a job can cause a feeling of uncertainty and insecurity, which can lead to anxiety and depression. Not only that, the new norm of working from home that has to be adopted by almost all workers is one of the reasons affecting the mental health of the citizens. Despite the challenge they have to face while working from home, they need to bear with it to maintain their economic status.
Next, I will present about research methodology of our study. The research target is the citizens of Malaysia who are involved in the COVID-19 outbreak. Research design. This study have two research design, which is through literature review. The literature review are conducted through journal papers and online articles. Next, we have conducted an interview with citizens with direct impact due to pandemic, which is Mrs. Natipah Cik, the head of Human Resources Department.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afif Farhan bin Mansur. Me and my group are currently doing an assignment for our Malaysian economy subject with the title of Malaysia's Action in Addressing the Effects of COVID-19 on the country's economy and the mental health of fellow citizens. Can you please tell me your name and your current position?
Waalaikumsalam. My name is Natipah binti Cik. I am the head of HRM department in my company.
Continuing with the interview, for the first question, what are the initiatives made by your company?
Actually, there are lots of initiatives planned for this year. The biggest one is to transform our organization towards achieving work process-based and empowered organization. Lots of work need to be done to ensure right structure with the right people and right environment in place. This initiative will be implemented in phases. Therefore, good transition plan must be in place so that the implementation will become smooth. Besides that, risk assessment must be done with a proper mitigation plan in place for us to close the identified gaps. Not to forget, the communication management is the most important as well. Staff and union need to be informed early so that they feel that they are part of the team.
For the second question, what is the greatest impact of COVID-19 toward your company?
In our company, there are 5 plants which located at different places across states, namely Pahang and Terengganu. The staff lives in many areas across states as well. Our essential staff are working in shift. Therefore, to ensure no interruption for day-to-day operation, working pattern need to be changed from 4 shift rota, rota means rotation, to 5 shift rota and operate with minimum manning. Besides that, temporary accommodation need to be prepared so that staff can be placed if their residence area fall under red zone.
Next question. In your opinion, does the productivity comparable to the normal working situation?
In my opinion, we are as productive as working in a normal environment. In fact, we are performing better in certain areas, such as ad hoc assignment can be done with the helps from others, since we can have a meeting anywhere at any time through MS Team.
Last question. What is the most noticeable effect on your health in your current working environment?
Easily get tired and always have back pain. This is maybe due to the aging factor as well. Sometimes I feel so stressful since meeting is back to back and not much time for break. Since my headquarters is in KL, most of the time I have to join meeting on the first day of weekend, which is Friday. Only left Saturday, only one day for my weekend. Is that all?
That's all for the interview. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
My pleasure. Welcome.
This interview helps us to relate and get data from first-hand experience. Next is limitations. This study is lack of qualitative data. It is not suitable to conduct other methods where physical contact may occur. Next, time restriction. The severity of COVID-19 impact cannot be seen at this time, which produce premature inference.
Lastly, the conclusion. Through this study, the end expectation is to help the government on future decisions, especially on potential pandemic in the future. Not only the government can benefit from this study, but it can also serve as future references to citizens, government, economy analysts, entrepreneurs, and psychologists. We learned that drastic changes on citizens' daily routine should be executed in stages. With this, the pressure on employees is reduced. Last but not least, this study creates awareness on mental health and financial management. That is all from us. Thank you for listening.